today we're going to be making a picture with the poem Five Little Pumpkins. And you have several options. I used popsicle sticks last year, but you might not have popsicle sticks. So this year I used construction paper, and that works just fine for making the gate too. You might not have the poem and the little witches, and so I also have run off some copies of the poem here, and I'll have a bunch of copies at the front desk, so if you want to stop by, and that way when you're making yours you already have the poem you can cut out, and you can trace around one of these, maybe this one, using a upside down cup or just cutting a circle freehand to make your moon. And then these little ones can be witches. You're also going to need, of course, black marker, and if you choose to make the inside of the pumpkin eyes and smiles yellow, you'll need yellow, definitely orange. Green is fun for the grass, although totally optional. You might go with white for snow. And here's the brown for the gate that they're sitting on. And it all starts with a big piece of black paper. So we'll just walk through the steps. I'm sure you still have your scissors and glue handy. And this is how it goes. When you start out, you want to cut out that 5 little pumpkins sitting on a gate. The first one says, oh my, it's getting late. The second one says, there are witches in the air. The third one says, but we don't care. The fourth one says, let's run and run and run. And the fifth one says, I'm ready for some fun. Then whoo goes the wind and out goes the lights. And the 5 little pumpkins roll out of sight. And if you want, you can do that with the actions. I also have put a little bit of tape on the back of 5 little pumpkins right here. So you could just do it right with 5 little pumpkins on your fingers. And that makes an easy and fun way to do it. But if you want to make the whole picture, just like I did, you are going to need some cloud shapes around those witches. And we have been seeing some clouds in the air, so that's pretty realistic. And you might also want to add some things in your sky, like maybe snowflakes or bats or whatever would be fun and Halloween-y to you. I even saw one Halloween decoration that was up on Facebook that people had decorated their house all spooky for Halloween, and then in their front yard they put a big 2020 and they wrote, it's the scariest thing we could think of. So you can get creative with this. If you do choose to do a gate, to me it looks a little more like a fence, but I folded mine into 5 because there are 5 little pumpkins and we want that to work out. And then once you've got that kind of fan-like or accordion-like fold going, and it doesn't have to be perfectly even. You can see mine didn't come out perfectly even. That's okay. You just have to make sure that when you cut, the arms of the gate or the fence are going to end up being able to connect to each other. And then I did a little point here and then connect, because that part right there is what's going to make it all one. If you cut right there, you'll end up with pieces of a gate, which would still be glued together just fine, but it won't be quite as easy. And then when we unfold it, it should end up being something that looks like a fence or a gate. Okay, now we're going to need the grass, if you want to have grass in yours. And sometimes when I'm cutting out grass, I just do this little zigzag thing. If you want to take your time and make it look really grassy, you can also do lots of little jaggedy things like fringe. Fringe ends up looking like realistic grass. And really the grass is extra. And we're not seeing so much grass today because there's a lot of slush out there. But who knows? If it all melts, we might still have some grass that's alive underneath. We'll see. All right, there is a little bit of grass that can go at the bottom of your gate. And then for the pumpkins, when you cut them, you could have them all end up different shapes. It is faster if you have to cut a bunch of pumpkins if you fold, and you don't want them to be too big because they have to fit, right there on your gate. Here comes that backward C, the stem, another backward C, make it look pumpkin-ish on the bottom. And the nice thing about pumpkins is they are not perfectly round, so they're a forgiving sort of thing to make. There's 2 of them, there's the 3rd, there's the 4th one, so we just need 1 more. And he could be a little bit taller, maybe a little bit skinnier. Sometimes the pumpkins overlap when you put them together on that gate. So now, get a little bit different shaped one. Maybe he could be in the middle. And then it comes to the part where you either are going to use your black marker and make the faces just the way you want. Maybe some surprise, some happy, some smiley. We got little eyes we can put on, maybe a little nose. This is the week you might be thinking about carving your pumpkins. So these could be potentially pumpkin shapes that you might end up carving in your real jack-o'-lantern. We got 2 fangs on this guy. And you know, you can always take away fangs, but it's hard to add them later. There we go. So he ends up with black right there. And if we decide we don't want the fangs, you could just color right over them and make it smooth on top. So you'll color in or use yellow paper to cut out the shapes. And once you've glued them all onto your paper, they may end up looking something like this one with the black, or they may end up looking something like this one with the yellow right there. You have shapes like this. And I hope you have fun doing your 5 Little Pumpkins poem right there with the art. If you do need one of these copies that has the poem and the little witches, just stop by the front desk, okay? I hope to see you at the library soon. Bye-bye for now.